2.
Are we recording?
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking Jack, I'm going to cut it to 5.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of the Ville Chillin' Podcast. Today, we are talking about when is the Derby, when is the Kentucky Derby and everything that's happening between now and then.
So what is happening, Jack? And actually, before we even get into what is happening between now and then.
A lot.
There's a whole lot. The full Derby festivities are in full effect in the next month. Today, we got like 10 days before it hits April, and in April, it goes down.
It's kind of overwhelming. Like, there's a lot going on.
There's so much. And if you blink, you're going to miss something.
It's the quickest 2 minutes in sports. 3 minutes.
That's a fact. Yet, a little bit of foreshadowing because, we have this little plan brewing where we're going to do the 7 days of the Derby.
I'm down.
Coming up.
I'm ready. Like 7 days of the Derby. Like, we missed the last couple of years, so like it's time.
Not only is it the quickest couple minutes in sports, it's one of the oldest organized sports in the United States.
I've heard the Kentucky Derby is actually older than Kentucky.
We'll
go into that, but it's wild.
But anyways, back to the question at hand.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
When is the Kentucky Derby? As of the filming of this episode, 43 days, 22 hours, 52 minutes, and 20 seconds away. Just over a month, about a month and a half. But there's so much going on.
And it's the 150th Kentucky Derby.
It is the 150th, which is wild.
Seems like just yesterday.
This country's like just over 200 years old, and it's the 150th Kentucky Derby. So back to what we just said. And there's so much going on this month, or this, leading up to the Derby for us and for the city of Louisville. So the Derby itself is on May 4th. Of course, the day before
May the 4th be with you.
Naturally. And then on May 3rd is you got the Oaks. And then you even got the Thurby that's coming, that he started on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's new. My sister was telling me about that. That's
they're all in, man. It's wild. But there is really just so much happening. And it really is amazing that Kentucky is home and host to such a historic event, It's a true testament to just so many things about the state, the history of the state, and what made our agriculture and our economy what it is, which throw back to an old episode, the agriculture episode, where we talked about how horses and thoroughbreds are one of our staples. So it's just really amazing looking at it all. And like I said, just so much going on between now and then. I can't believe they can pack so much into it. And just as a quick overview, this is the list of events that happen in April. If you're able to look at the screen, if you're listening, just go to KDF.org, Kentucky Derby Festival, KDF.org, and you can see a highlight little screenshot for all of the events. But if I had to guess, without counting right now, there's at least like 20, 25 different things going on. And there's multiple things going on the same day sometimes as it gets closer.
Right. Like, I think a lot of people, like, when they think of the Derby, from out of state, they think about, like, just literally the Derby. They don't think about these other 20-plus events, Like, there's a lot going on between, like, when they announce the date to, the actual races.
Definitely. Starting at the beginning of the year, apparently, Norton's sponsors sports health training program, which is really cool. My mom worked for Norton, so I have a soft spot for Norton's. And the fact that they're included in some of this is really awesome. And they have Justice Fest, which happened in February. Pegasus pins went on sale March 1st. So we're already like a month late on that,
Right, got to get your gold pin.
You got to try to get your gold pin. It's like getting a gold ticket for Willy Wonka. But then on March 2nd, they had Robo Rumble, which is something really cool that I never heard of until we were doing this. the Robo Rumble, it was hosted at Moore High School on March 2nd. And reading into it, it's just everything robotics you can kind of imagine. They have an RCX challenge involving teams programming their Lego NXT EV3 robot to solve defined challenges within a specific time. A robotic use focuses on creating a robot that either is a transformation of another item or transforms the way you do a task. So just thinking of the future and how can we automate things. Sumo Bot, which is probably our favorite. That's BattleBots.
That's BattleBots on steroids,
that's
right?
Louisville
That's
BattleBots. It's a double elimination tournament where two robots try to remove or disable each other. So pretty amazing. And that's really cool. And it's hosted by JCPS.
Hell yeah, and it's like a newer one too. Like that's one of the newer events that they didn't have, growing up. I would have loved something like that as far as like the BattleBots or something. Like it definitely takes two things as far as like the competition part, but also like bringing like STEM into it, right? Like so it's not just an event for looking, but also like learning also.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was about to say, the STEM aspect, because that is the future of our society. When you look at STEM, science, technology, mathematics, engineering, I got those last two backwards, but hey, STEM is
tomato.
STEM creates the future. And so if we're trying to get people engaged in the future, it's really cool that Louisville and JCPS, of course, is, putting this on for kids to learn and, show off their skills and have a goal behind what they're building. Really awesome to see.
Definitely. It kind of plays into, we've talked about it before too on the show, is Code Louisville. I wouldn't be surprised if they have, something on that as far as, I'm sure a lot of those students probably either were part of Code Louisville or, vice versa.
Yeah, I don't even know exactly what they use. Obviously, they use Legos for part of it, but I can't even imagine. As tech as I am and as much as I'm into tech, I can't imagine how, students in JCPS are doing that. And I wish I would have known about it sooner because it happened on March 2nd, and I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that next year.
Oh, yeah. When you think of Derby, you don't think of robots. So
You
it's
definitely
really cool
don't.
that's a new feature that we're bringing into the...
Yeah, very awesome. Very awesome. So some other stuff they got going on is the golf stuff. So they got $1 million hole-in-one golf contest running from April 11th to the 21st, and it's on various days because they do juniors, they do women's, they do all kinds of stuff. And you'll have to definitely check out the website again. It's kdf.org. But they got a lot going on as far as the golf. They got senior specials, junior days, fire responders and Veterans Day, ladies' days, and college day. And if you're a fan of golf, the PGA Tour is not related to the Derby at all, but the PGA Championship is back in Louisville.
And that's something I didn't know. Like, I remember hearing about that. I think it was like 2014 or 2015.
2014 was the last time they were here.
And I just kind of assumed, like, I'm not big into golf myself. So, like, I just kind of assumed, like, I guess it happens in Kentucky every couple of years or something. But it's kind of cool that they're bringing it back same year as, they're doing all this really cool stuff as far as, like, the golfing events with the Derby. And then follow up here in a couple of months, we'll be talking about, is it the PNG Tour?
PGA Tour, the PGA
Pangea,
Championship,
whatever. Like,
either way, it's at Valhalla Golf Course. If you're interested in golf,
that sounds fancy.
The PGA Championship is hosted at the Valhalla Golf Course this year, which is really cool. Again, they haven't been here in 10 years, and it's pretty sporadic. They've only been here a handful of times, like I want to say 7 or 8.
I think Tiger Woods like won every one of those times, like 3 of the 5 or whatever. Did he?
I doubt it, but that's okay. We'll say it.
It's close.
Another really cool event that I think is really awesome is the Taste of Derby Festival they're having at the Slugger Field on April 16th, because Louisville is really coming into its own as a food city and a foodie city. It
really is very diverse, like as far as like all the options as far as like food and stuff. So it's really cool seeing them like embrace that.
And not just like not just like random food, but like the actual ambiance of restaurants and everything has been really, really growing. You're getting a lot more bigger restaurants and Michelin star chefs coming here to try to help promote the foodie nature that is Louisville. I mean, it is a thing in Louisville, and it's cool to see them really promote it. And who knows what all they have going on at this specific Taste of Derby festival, but all proceeds go to Dare to Care Food Bank. So there's nothing better than combining a major event with a huge traction and then giving half the proceeds to charity.
Hell yeah. Plus there's bourbon.
Can't
Can't
go
beat
wrong.
that, right? Like
Can't go
win-win.
wrong. Bourbon tasting, wine tasting, and a silent auction. So
One for charity, one for me. One for charity, one for me.
I'm down. And we can't talk about Derby festivities without talking about Thunder.
Dude, that is like Thunder for me. Derby doesn't start till Thunder. Thunder is the
Facts.
beginning for me. So 420.
It feels weird
Thunder.
even talking about this and doing this now because Thunder hasn't happened yet. Like that's
Right.
when everything, that's when it's real. That's when everything manifests and really starts happening. But yeah, April 20th this year for Thunder over Louisville. And man, it's a wild show. If you've never seen it, if you're not from the area, check it out online because I think it's literally like the largest fireworks show in the world, right?
I think so. Like over in
At least in the country.
everything from the show itself to the spectators. There's over 500,000 people that just get into that small section of downtown Louisville.
Yeah, between the waterfront and then right across the bridge in Indiana, like it's packed. And even then, you got people on top of apartment buildings and everywhere else. They even have a VIP rooftop party at the airport. So I mean, it's big, and it's kind of worth it. Like it's always themed every year. I don't know exactly what the theme is this year. I'm sure it's out. I just don't know what it is.
Go
but
Thunder. Thunder, buddy. It's going down, bro.
It's a good movie. It's really awesome the way they theme it and can you imagine the coordination that has to go into it? Now I feel
The
sorry.
logistics.
Yeah, the logistics are crazy. I feel sorry for the people who have to find a different route to work if they have to cross the bridge for work one way or the other because they have to shut down the whole bridge.
You got to.
For like a week just to prepare all the fireworks and the cables and cords and everything that they do. But
One time, like, I remember going there one time when I was like maybe in high school or something, and it was one of those things where it was like, you're not. My parents were going to pick me up, but there was like no way that they were going to be able to get to me.
Mhm.
And like I looked over, and there was this thing where they were just doing the carts. They were doing the buses. They were actually like putting people on buses, and I thought it was like the normal bus route. So I'm like, cool. We go on the 6th Street. I'm about to be on Taylor. Nah. Me and my buddy Jordan, like we ended up at the Expo Center. So like, if you know where the Expo Center, like that is not the
Preston
bus
Murphy
route.
Lane.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I got my 50 cent, I got my transfer. Nah, I ended up not there. So I mean, it worked out because like it was probably easier for my parents to pick me up at the time.
Probably.
But like it was just wild. Like we did not. I know people like growing, you know, like as you grow or whatever, and you go to like Thunder, like older, it's like, dude, I'm just gonna walk home. Like I know people
Right.
that, you know, like live closer to like Old Louisville or something. It was just easier for us to just like walk there versus having to get through the traffic, you know, and just come get your car tomorrow and you'd probably be faster.
The traffic is maddening.
Yeah, so
And-
prepare for that. Love Thunder,
if you
but
want to
prepare
go
for the traffic.
It's an amazing atmosphere. There's a lot going on. There's food trucks and different things going on. Glow sticks being sold everywhere. Just so much, but the traffic leaving is the only issue. Getting there, not really an issue. Trying to leave is the problem unless you're willing to walk blocks away from where they cordon everything off. I've been like, I went like 10 years ago. I went a couple of years in a row, and we went one time together.
Good times.
But it's definitely maddening. The traffic is maddening. But the good news is this day and age of the internet, it looks just as good on the TV.
Right. Win-win. Just if you go, just make sure you bring your patients.
Absolutely. Or just go to a rooftop party and just hang out till the traffic dies down.
Yeah,
you
with
know?
all the other rich people. Fingers up, pinkies up.
Oh man. The next big event going on is the Festiville, which encapsulates a lot. It's from April 25th to May 3rd. May 3rd is Oaks Day, so that's the day before Derby. And it all goes on down at the waterfront, and there's so much. There's entertainment with concerts from local and regional acts, family fun, food, kids inflatable playgrounds, rides, so much going on. And as far as the food, it's the Chow Wagon,
Nice.
which is pretty much
Got those funnel cakes.
it's huge locally. Like the Chow Wagon is like one of the biggest things about the Derby as well. But then you got the balloon glows, the balloon races, and everything like that going on. OVW is going to be hosting an event this year. So, I mean, the whole festival is just wild leading up to the Derby.
No, yeah, I feel like Thunder kind of like is that like sets the tone, like that's the beginning, and then this, the Kroger Festival, which I guess that's kind of a newer thing. Like before it was, the Balloon Glow and 2 or 3 other things, but now it's like sponsored by Kroger, so it's like really amping up.
Something else to mention that we probably should have mentioned before, because I think it's the same for Thunder. Admission is free with a Pegasus pin, with a current year Pegasus pin. So if you buy a 2024 Pegasus pin, you don't have to pay to get into these events.
Okay, I always went to them for free. I got in somehow. I don't know. Like I just
You're supposed to have a Pegasus pin, but either way, it is wild. Like everything they got going on, and it'd be really cool to see the OVW stuff that's happening.
Right. So so that's really cool. So like back then, like I guess like the Pegasus Parade got you into like the Chow Wagon, but now you can go into like OVW and all these other events. So that's
you get into the festival for free. So just moving through some of these events, you got the Chow Wagon. They got music and everything going on. The Chow Wagon lasts the same number of days as the festival. And tons of different music acts. Says you can feast on everything from cookie dough, turkey legs, and elephant ears. There's something for everyone. The Great Balloon Fest. They got a bunch of hot air balloons going on. The Balloon Glow, and then the Balloon Race. All really cool. And then the Run for the Ropes. There it is. The Ohio Valley Wrestling Run for the Ropes. Friday, April 26th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you're a wrestling fan, definitely make sure to check it out. It says special meet and greet with OVW stars, followed by 6 big matches, including a special every man for himself free-for-all over the top rope battle royale. So
awesome. So you get like a big show, and then you have a meet and greet after. So it's not just the wrestling show. You can actually
the meet and greet before.
Them. Oh, before?
Yeah, before they have to get all sweaty and out of breath.
Okay, cool.
Better for pictures.
Right.
Or maybe worse for pictures. I don't know, depending on your perspective.
Tomato, yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, April 26th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Got Ohio Valley Wrestling Run for the Ropes. And man, they've been killing it these last couple of years.
They have, dude. After the Netflix special, like OVW, like they are the top. I don't care what anybody says. They have to be the top 3 wrestling promotion in the country, maybe the world right now. Like they are really, really doing their thing right there. Al Snow and the group and everybody else, like they are kicking ass.
He's wild, dude. If you follow him on Facebook, he posts some crazy stuff.
Man, I love it. You never know which way he's gonna go.
When you look back to him talking to a mannequin head and wrestling a mannequin head, I guess it makes sense. But
foreshadowing, bro. Foreshadowing.
It's awesome. So crazy. And then the Kentucky Derby. So
say it again.
Kentucky Rubber Ducks. So it says join us for the 21st annual Kentucky Derby as we drop 46,000 rubber ducks into the Ohio River for a chance to race and compete for prizes. Cheer your duck to victory as they race to the finish line.
Dude, PETA's going crazy right now.
Now look. They clean it up. I promise. But
Like, the rubber ducks are killing the ducks, man. Sorry.
Exactly.
We'll cut that out.
But with the purchase, it includes, or the proceeds go to individuals with disabilities at Harbor House of Louisville. So Harbor House is a local nonprofit charity that lights the way for adults with physical and cognitive disabilities.
Hell yeah.
So it's really awesome. It's a day program where they come and engage in special programs like job training, educational tutoring, classes, cooking classes, gardening, community integration, social skills, anything that they might need to be able to integrate into daily life that the rest of us take for granted. So it's a really cool thing. And I mean, if we got to put a bunch of ducks on the Ohio River, then it is what it is.
If anything, I would think it might absorb some of the pollution. If anything, it's for the best.
Exactly. So on-site duck purchases are available starting at 11 a.m. on April 27th. That's a Saturday. They got kids activities. They got a duck waddle parade through the Festiveville area. And then they call to post and duck drop at 4 p.m. And again, 46,000 rubber ducks. It's a sight to see in and of itself. And this is all before the Derby even happens. It's wild.
Racing ducks before the Derby. Kentucky Derby.
And then one that spoke to me as we were going through some of these events, Exotic Cars and Coffee presented by Speedwash Car Wash, Saturday, April 27th. I'm a car guy. What can I say? So there's no telling what you could see. This is one of those few chances or a few times a year where owners of true exotic cars are going to actually want to bring them out.
Like when you talk about like these exotic cars, like you're not talking about like your regular car you see down the street. You're talking about cars,
Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
That you could buy a house with. Yeah. Like, are you going to buy a house or are you going to buy a car? These are the cars you're going to see.
Exactly. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens. And then like even some old muscle cars and imports that people have probably poured a house worth of money into. You know what I'm saying? Like special built cars. The viewing starts as 4 to 8 p.m. Judging goes on from 4:30 to 6:30, and they give awards away at 7. And there's 3 awards. You can get Best of Show, Best American Muscle, and Best Euro-German Import. So, again, it's just one that speaks to me, but I know Kentucky has a car culture. It's still budding, just like the food culture here. I mean, it's here. It just doesn't have the attention that some other cities do, but it's here. And I guarantee there's some amazing cars to see, whether you're into cars or not.
And again, is it free? It looks like it's free with the Pegasus pin.
Admission to view the cars
$30 or just bring your Pegasus pin. And then...
Well, no, the $30 is to register your car to be in the event. It's free with the Pegasus pin.
Oh yeah.
It's part of the Festiveville going on. It's on April 27th. So same day as the Kentucky Derby, right? Yeah, same day. So again, the festivals that Louisville puts on, and all, not just Louisville, but these events are sponsored by so many local businesses putting in money and time and energy to plan these things and promote these things, and just try to really make it such a fun atmosphere in this city, leading up to the Derby. And there's just so much going on, whether you want food, whether you just want some activities to take your kids to, whether you just want to get out yourself, whether you want to look at some cars, whether you want to get some bourbon, you can do
it's all
of it.
There.
Yeah. Like it's all just going on. And then the last one that we have queued up as far as these tabs go is the Pegasus Parade, Sunday, April 28th, which is the Sunday before the Derby. So the Derby is on May 4th. The Pegasus Parade is the Sunday before that. It starts at 3 p.m. at West Broadway, and I'm pretty sure they broadcast it somewhere, right?
It's usually on one of the local newscasts. So like sometimes it'll be on like Wave or something or WHAS. Sometimes I think it might even be all of them sometimes. So definitely want to check that out.
Yeah,
if you can't make it out there because of the traffic or whatever, you can definitely you can check it out from home too.
And just to point out, it originated in 1956 on a budget of only $640. The Pegasus Parade is the Kentucky Derby Festival's oldest event. So back when they started the Derby and started trying to promote it with a festival type atmosphere, the parade was the one that kicked it off. And today it's one of the largest in the country, contributing an estimated impact of more than $22 million to the local economy.
So over 50 years, they were just having horse races. Like they were just having the Derby itself. And then after over 50 years, they were like, let's have a parade.
Yeah. They were like, let's just have a parade. Let's really go in and lean into this thing.
That's really when it started becoming an event. And then really, you know what I'm saying? Because like before then it was just the 3 minutes or 4 minutes for the race.
Yep.
50 years in, they're like, hey, let's really do it. You know, turn it into a festival, a multiple thing. And here we are now.
Exactly. And the theme this year for the parade is celebrating Derby 150 in honor of the 150th running. So, I mean, yeah, it's wild when you think about the amount of time, energy, and everything that's gone into building this festival into what it is. And we haven't even touched on every event that's actually happening. Like, if you look like at the little highlight page, and again, all this information is on kdf.org. But when you scroll through the actual event schedule, like there's just so much. There's a fashion show. There's just so much. There's a soccer game, like just Bourbonville, a community-wide cleanup, Brightside community-wide cleanup. Like it's just a cleanup day. They're sponsoring a cleanup day to just clean up the city in the midst of all this madness and chaos that we call the Kentucky Derby, that we love and we've grown up with. They make sure to do their part and, you know, try to give back too. So many charities are benefited, block parties, balls, like, you know, dances. It's just
the revenue.
So much.
The revenue, like we're talking billions. When we talk about like the amount of revenue that comes in from the Kentucky Derby, we're talking over billions and billions of dollars, and that's why Kentucky still is, you know, a force as far as a competitive, you know, state.
Yeah, and I mean, when you really look at it, how many celebrities come in for the Derby? You know what I'm saying? Like, Millionaires Row is Millionaires Row for a reason. Right. So it's just so much, and we are pumped. We're especially pumped that we finally get to make an episode about it because it just hasn't happened for us in the last couple of years based on timing and everything else. And when we were recording, when we weren't recording, life events happen. But regardless, we're pumped.
And it's perfect. I'm kind of glad we missed the other ones because this is the 150th.
150th.
Right,
this is a big one. So, this is the big one.
Right. So what we're going to do, you know, I guess with it being a bigger event, it being the 150th one, to really celebrate, what we want to do is have a week-long celebration of Derby. 7 days of Derby starting on
April 28th.
Thank you. On April 28th, what we're going to do is start having, you know, 7 days. So every day, what we're going to do is have a different episode, a different show about a different aspect of the Derby. So definitely be looking forward to that. Like, we are really excited right now. Like, we are ready to, you know, make some things happen as far as really emphasizing what the Derby is and as far as like what it means to us, you know, us as individuals and, you know, as a group, and, you know, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky, Louisville, just a community in general, how it's really built up and how it's become what it has today. Like you said, what it means and everything that's gone on since then. It's an amazing story.
It really is. Like, I'm just now finding out that it's older than Kentucky.
It's wild.
The Derby happened, and then 2 years later, Kentucky was initiated, you know, approved or whatever.
State.
Yes, as a state. So, I mean, it's older than Kentucky. The Kentucky Derby is older than Kentucky. So it's really cool to emphasize that and like kind of go into it, jump into it.
Yeah. There's just so much. So definitely be looking forward to all of these events coming up. Again, kdf.org is where you can find all the information about any event that's part of the Kentucky Derby Festival, at least the official festival. But if you have local businesses who are putting something on to celebrate the Derby, support them too.
Yeah.
Support them. Restaurants do their own thing. Little small mom and pop shops do their own thing sometimes. Support them because they really need it. And it benefits all of us when we come together and make these things happen in the way that they do. And at the same time, as we've said a couple of times, definitely be watching us starting April 28th. We're going to be putting out 7 days of Derby, just trying to expand on it and give people just more information on it that they might not have known, because there's things we still don't know and didn't know. And it's a rich, rich history. I mean, it's 150 years of history and just so much. I don't know how else to say it other than so much.
Yep. Hey, we got 43 days left to the
43 days, 22 hours, 23 minutes, and 50 seconds.
to the quickest 3 minutes in sports, So we're excited about it.
Definitely. If you couldn't tell by the tone of the show. With that, you got anything else to add, man? I think we covered a lot.
No, I'm excited to announce who I'm going to bet for, though, because I got some plans.
When does that come out? When does that announcement happen?
I vote. I wanted what is it? My boy Jack. My boy Jack a couple of years ago, like he was the long shot the day of. He was the favorite, and they were wrong.
Oh wait,
he lost.
I know they got the information on. There it is, Derby horses. So if you are interested, they list all the Derby horses on KentuckyDerby.com and who's going to be running. So
a domestic product sounds legit.
Hey, you never know, man.
Way
Track
better.
Phantom sounds pretty cool. No More Time, man. I'm going for No More Time, dude. That is my daily life.
See, I've always bet based on the name of the horses. I don't
Absolutely.
even look at the.
None of that matters, dude.
Nah.
We're going to be talking about some of the upsets that have happened once we get into everything too. So none of that matters.
Hey, they might be 2-1, but what about domestic? I don't know.
Oh man, it's going to be fun. It's a great time. We're definitely looking forward to it. We're looking forward to making the episodes. We're looking forward to learning alongside all of y'all. We're looking forward to just the energy of the city during that time. So
Let's go.
I guess with that, we will see y'all next time.
Next time.
Have a good night.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an ace to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm gonna cut it to 5.